A large part of the end game loop in the First Descendant revolve around you doing these void fragment towers, getting the materials from there, and then using them to summon void bosses from the second part of this activity so that you can unlock some really good game-changing Descendant mods. So for example, what I am referring to is, if we go here, you'll see that you have a void fragment tower here that you can access by using a non-attribute element on it. You get all the different kinds of elements for this. So there are fire towers, there's toxic towers, there's electric towers, and so on. So usually you match this with whichever Descendant you have that has that element. And then by doing this activity, you get some shards from it. Now there are 4 kinds of shards in the game: monomer, polymer, inorganic, and organic. And then what you do for the second part of this loop is you go to these abyssal, void fusion reactors, which essentially let you pay a fee in shards. So this one is 36 inorganic shards and 9 organic. And then it summons a level 100 monster for you, which you kill. And then you have a chance at some of these really good mods and rewards. Now there are 27 of these towers available in the game that you can farm these shards from. Some locations have multiples of these, like for example, if we look at White Knight Gulch, we have a toxic one over here, and we should have a chill one over here. So generally there's a lot of these that you can do, and I started farming these a couple of days ago. So I decided to create a small little spreadsheet that just sort of allows me to summarize a lot of this information so that I don't have to mess around in here looking for which towers do what, or to scroll around the map randomly and find whichever one I'm doing, depending on whichever Descendant I'm using. Like if I'm running around with, you know, Lepic, then I want to be doing all of the fire towers. So then unless you memorize these over time, you kind of like have to like hop around from map to map and go, oh, okay, fuck, I'm looking for a fire one. Oh no, that's a non-attribute. Damn. I'm looking over here. Oh no, that's a non-attribute. Damn. So the idea was that I made a quick little Excel that, you know, sort of like has all of this information on there. And then also I'm going to be developing that over time and actually adding some more stuff in there. So this would be the first version of that. Of course, this information is now available to you all to use as well. So there's a link in the description of this video to the Excel file with this on. You guys are more than welcome to use this. And as I said, expect some follow-up videos as of developing this information further, because I kind of like want to create a document that allows you to say, okay, I'm looking for this, and then give you like the most efficient way to sort of like farm for that material. However, the thing that I'm talking about, the file itself, is over here. So if we just check here, I just want to quickly, before we dive into the actual detail of it, just cover a few notes. So first and foremost, I would consider this as an activity that you should be doing once you've unlocked hard mode difficulty, meaning that you finish the story on normal mode. Does it mean that you can't farm these things in normal mode? You absolutely can. The only issue with that is, and I can quickly demonstrate this to you, the only issue with that is if we, for example, like let's use Kingston right at the beginning, and this very first one here, you'll notice that this one gives you the opportunity of getting 3 monomer, 3 polymer, 3 inorganic, and 4 organic on every completion. However, if we switch to normal, you'll notice that now the reward is literally only 1 of each. So from a pure efficiency perspective, you can absolutely do this in the way of like, you know, farming it when it's in normal, but your rate of accumulation is going to be super slow. And honestly, it only really starts making sense to really sort of dive into this once you've hit hard. So my first piece of advice to you would be to not mess with this until you get to hard difficulty. So as I've been saying in many of my other videos, focus on finishing the campaign and getting through normal as soon as possible so that you can get to hard, because that's really where the game basically opens up. Secondly, I'm going to be talking about what my recommendation out of these ones are, and you can see that in the file here as well. In the last column, I have a recommended column which you can filter on, and you can say filter on yes, and that's going to be the ones which I recommend per element that you should be farming, because they're the most efficient, they have the least irritating enemies, and they have easy lanes where the enemies run at you, and like a choke that you can employ, meaning like you can sort of like stand behind a rock or to the side or something like that, and the enemies can literally just funnel onto you. Or like the spawn lanes are super easy to control, and basically they come from one side and they come on the other side. These activities are not all created equal, and some of these are super frustrating in the way that they are laid out and require you to run around a lot, and you sometimes get shot from right across the way. So also if you're struggling with survivability, that can be a problem. And some of them have irritating enemies like those shield guys and the guys with the spikes that charge and everything. So I kind of like avoid those because you can't really I mean, they slow you down. That's pretty much the point. So then when we just quickly turn this filter back off, all right, and then last but not least, personally, in my opinion, I feel like Vesper's Moonlight Lake, and that's actually the footage that you've been seeing in the background, is the fucking best one out of the lot. And coincidentally, you'll also find that some of these, how the rewards on them work is they focus on two different ones. Like for example, Echo Swamp here, this one over here, gives you 13 inorganic and 2 organic when you complete it. But then you get some ones which offer you all 4 shards, a little bit of them. So 3 3 3 4 or 3 4 3 3 or something like that. So if you filter here on quad shards and say yes, I've also shown all the ones which do this, and you'll see that Vesper's Moonlight Lake features under there. I've repeatedly farmed this one over and over. The enemies are super easy to kill. It's super fast, it's super efficient, and in my opinion, this is the fastest way for you to do it. But it is a non-attribute one. A lot of these are non-attributes, so if you don't have a hero that can do non-attribute damage, then of course there's a chill option for you as well, and there's also a fire option for you, meaning like, you know, you can use something like Lepic for the fire, or I think the other guy is Blair or something like that. So this, please go ahead and use this information if you are, you know, farming on this activity. Like I said, I've got a bit more stuff coming. I'm going to be adding more things to the file. I'm also going to be sharing some detail with the void missions and all of that stuff as well. As you can see, I've already created a tab and I've started populating it. So expect a follow-up video, as I said, and I'll be adding more stuff to this. But that's it for the video. Thank you so much for watching, especially if you made it this far. Let me know in the comments down below what other information you would like me to potentially add to this file. I have got pretty much an idea of where I'm going to end up with it, but I'm always open to suggestions, and it's always like super beneficial to group mind think this sort of thing, because you guys might think of something to add that obviously I'm not thinking, so that would be pretty damn sweet. Good luck with all the farming, good luck with hunting down the gear that you're looking for, and as always, it's just super important to me that you have a fantastic morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. Till next video, fucking cheers.